The member for Menzies.
Mr Deputy Speaker, I rise this afternoon to highlight the increasing traffic congestion in Melbourne generally and in my electorate of Menzies in particular. Increasing traffic is not surprising because Melbourne has been growing at the rate of about 1,500 extra people a week for not just weeks, years, but indeed for some decades. And if you look at the major infrastructure in Melbourne, the Monash Freeway, the Eastern Freeway and East Link, the Ring Road to the west and the north, the Tullamarine Freeway, most of this infrastructure is at least a decade old, if not decades older now. Indeed, the city's infrastructure is not coping adequately at the present time, let alone into the future. In fact, Melbourne is predicted to overtake Sydney as the most populous city in Australia in the coming decades. Therefore, traffic congestion in Melbourne is a pressing issue for residents. It's particularly felt in my electorate. Roads such as Bulleen-Templestowe Road, Manningham Road and Fitzsimons Lane are chock-a-block with cars and trucks trying to find a thorough way through to major freeways each morning and afternoon. And this also affects the neighbouring electorate of Jaga Jaga, especially Rosanna Road. Indeed, the triangle, Mr Deputy Speaker, between Clifton Hill, Templestowe and Greensborough is one of the most congested areas of Melbourne at the present time. Therefore, I welcome the recent Infrastructure Victoria report, which said that the #1 priority for road funding and construction in Melbourne is the North East Link. This is the link between the M80 Ring Road, which is the Western and Northern Ring Road, and the Eastern Freeway and East Link. There is a gap between those two roads, which means that roads such as Fitzsimons Lane, Manningham Road, Rosanna Road in Jaga Jaga and Bulleen-Templestowe Road become the thoroughfare for cars and increasingly large trucks each day to make the connection. Indeed, the Infrastructure Victoria Chief, Michelle Mason, said that this road was the clear winner in terms of priorities for Melbourne. The draft report calls for building the missing link in 10 to 15 years. I believe, however, Deputy Speaker, that it should be expedited. The traffic is chaotic now. In 10 years' time, it will indeed be horrendous. At the election, this government promised funding for a feasibility study, and I note that that funding was matched by Labor. So I call upon the Victorian government in particular to match the funding to get on with the feasibility study and start to relieve the congestion in this important part of Melbourne.